The boardroom door swung open, and I watched Daniel freeze like someone had dumped ice water down his back. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. Clara, sitting beside him in her designer suit, looked confused. She glanced at Daniel, then at me, then back at Daniel. "Good morning, everyone," I said calmly, taking my seat at the head of the table. "Let's begin." Daniel's face had gone completely white. The confidence he walked in with, gone. The smug smile he wore when he entered holding Clara's hand, disappeared. "Amara," he whispered, what were you doing here?" I didn't answer right away. I opened my folder, pulled out some papers, and looked around the table at the board members. They all nodded at me with respect. The CEO, Mr. Harrison, gave me a small smile. "I'm here," I said slowly, "because this is my company. I own 65% of it. I always have." The room went silent. Clara gasped, "Wait, what?" Daniel looked like he might pass out. "Let me back up. Let me tell you how we got here. 6 months ago, I was still married to Daniel Webb. We'd been together for 4 years, married for 2. I loved him. I really did. I thought he loved me too. But Daniel had a problem. He was obsessed with looking successful. He didn't care about actually being successful. He just wanted people to think he was. "Amara, why do you dress so plain?" he asked me one morning while I was making breakfast. I looked down at my simple jeans and sweater. "Because I'm comfortable? But we're going to my co-worker's party tonight. Can't you wear something more expensive looking?" I turned off the stove. "Daniel, we've talked about this. I don't like showing off." "That's the problem," he muttered. "You never want to show off. You never want to look like we're doing well." "We're doing well," I said. "We have everything we need." He shook his head. "That's easy for you to say. You don't understand what it's like trying to move up in this world." I bit my tongue. If only he knew. See, Daniel didn't know the truth about me. Nobody at his company did, except Mr. Harrison, the CEO. And Mr. Harrison only knew because he worked for me. My family built Harrison Tech 15 years ago. My father started it, my mother grew it, and when they retired, they handed it to me. But I didn't want the spotlight. I didn't want people treating me differently because of money. So we hired Mr. Harrison as the public face. He ran the daily operations. I made the big decisions quietly from behind the scenes. I worked in the marketing department under a different last name. I drove a regular car. I lived in a normal apartment with Daniel. I wanted to be respected for my work, not my bank account. But Daniel didn't see it that way. To him, I was just Amara from marketing. Dark-skinned Amara with a quiet job and the humble background. Amara who was holding him back. He never said it directly, but I heard it in little comments. "You know, Clara from accounting has such nice skin," he said once. "So light and clear." Or, "My manager said I'd move up faster if I had better connections, if my wife came from a more established family." Each comment felt like a tiny knife, but I stayed quiet. I wanted to believe he'd see past all that surface stuff eventually. I was wrong. Everything changed 3 months ago. Daniel came home late one Tuesday night, and I knew something was different. He wouldn't look at me. "We need to talk," he said. My heart sank. Those 4 words never mean anything good. "Okay," I said softly. "What's wrong?" He sat down across from me, still not making eye contact. "I don't think this is working anymore." "What do you mean?" "Us. This marriage. I don't think we're right for each other." I felt my chest tighten. "Daniel, where is this coming from? Did something happen?" "Nothing happened," he said quickly. Too quickly. I've been thinking. We want different things. We're from different worlds." "Different worlds?" I repeated. "We've been fine for 4 years. What changed?" He finally looked at me, and I saw something ugly in his eyes. Something that looked like shame mixed with greed. "I met someone," he said. "Someone who gets my ambitions. Someone who can actually help me build the life I want." My stomach dropped. "Who?" "Clara. Clara Harrison, the CEO's daughter." Of course, Clara Harrison. I knew her. She worked in accounting, just like Daniel said. light-skinned, always dressed in expensive clothes, drove a luxury car. She was nice enough, but she loved attention. She loved being the CEO's daughter. And Daniel loved the idea of being with the CEO's daughter. "So you're leaving me," I said quietly, "for your boss's daughter." "It's not like that," he said, but we both knew he was lying. "I just think you and I aren't compatible. You're great, Amara. You really are. But I need someone on my level. Someone who understands the corporate world." I almost laughed. I wanted to tell him right then. I wanted to say, "Daniel, I don't just understand the corporate world. I own it. That building you work in, those paychecks you cash, they come from me." But I didn't. Instead, I just nodded. "Okay." He looked surprised. "Okay. Yeah, if that's what you want, then okay. I won't fight you on it." He seemed relieved, almost too relieved, like he expected me to beg or cry. I did cry, just not in front of him. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers were signed. 1 week after that, Daniel posted a picture with Clara on social media. They were at some fancy restaurant, both dressed up, both smiling. The caption said, "Finally found someone who matches my energy. Here's to new beginnings." I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I closed my laptop and went to work. At the office, I kept my head down. I did my job in marketing. I smiled at coworkers. Nobody knew I was dying inside. But I also started paying attention to something else. Reports were coming to me through Mr. Harrison. Reports about Daniel. He was getting sloppy at work, using company resources for personal projects, taking credit for other people's work, leaking information to try to impress Clara and her father. "He thinks he's untouchable now," Mr. Harrison told me during one of our private meetings. "He's telling people he's going to be family soon, that he'll be running departments within the year." I read through the evidence. Misused company funds, stolen client lists, forwarded confidential emails to his personal account. "What do you want to do?" Mr. Harrison asked. I thought about it. Part of me wanted to fire him immediately. But another part of me, the calmer part, knew there was a better way. "Schedule a board meeting." I said, "Tell Daniel it's a promotion review. Make sure Clara's invited too." Mr. Harrison raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure," I said. It's time everyone knew the truth. The day of the meeting, I woke up early. I put on my best suit, the one I saved for important occasions. I did my hair. I looked in the mirror and took a deep breath. "You've got this," I told myself. I arrived at the office before anyone else. I set up the boardroom. I laid out the documents. I prepared my presentation. And then I waited. Daniel and Clara walked in at exactly 9 o'clock. I watched them through the glass wall of the conference room. Daniel was grinning, shaking hands with people. Clara looked beautiful in a cream-colored dress. They looked like the perfect power couple. Daniel didn't see me yet. I was standing in the back corner, talking quietly with Mr. Harrison. "You ready?" Mr. Harrison whispered. "I was born ready," I whispered back. More board members filed in. Daniel took a seat right in the middle of the table, like he owned the place. Clara sat beside him, looking a little nervous but smiling. "Thank you all for coming," Mr. Harrison said, standing at the front. "We have some important matters to discuss today. But first, I'd like to introduce someone many of you know, but perhaps not in her full capacity." That was my cue. I stepped forward from the back of the room. Daniel saw me. His smile vanished instantly. His face went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. Confusion, shock, fear, panic, then back to confusion. "Amara," he said again, "what are you doing here?" Clara's eyes went wide. "Wait, you two know each other?" "Know each other?" I said calmly, walking to the head of the table. "We were married until 2 months ago. Daniel didn't tell you." Clara's mouth fell open. She turned to Daniel. "You were married? You told me you were single for 2 years." "I can explain," Daniel stammered. "Explain later," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Right now, we have business to discuss." I looked around at everyone. For those who don't know me in this capacity, my name is Amara Chun. I am the majority owner of Harrison Tech. I hold 65% of company shares. My family founded this company. Mr. Harrison here runs operations, but all major decisions go through me. You could hear a pin drop. Daniel's face had gone from white to red. That's impossible, he whispered. It's very possible, Mr. Harrison said, and it's been this way for 15 years. I opened my folder. Now, Daniel, you're probably wondering why you're here. You were told this was a promotion review, correct? He nodded slowly, looking like a trapped animal. Well, that was partially true. We are reviewing your performance. Unfortunately, it's not good news. I pulled out the first document and slid it across the table. This shows unauthorized use of company funds. You spent $8,000 on personal expenses and charged them to the marketing budget. Daniel's eyes went huge. I can explain that. This one, I continued, sliding another page forward, shows you leaked client information to an outside contact. You sent confidential emails to your personal account and then forwarded them to someone trying to start a competing business. Amara, please. And this, I said, putting down the final document, shows you've been taking credit for projects completed by junior staff members. 3 different employees filed complaints, but they were too afraid to push forward because you told them you were about to become family with the CEO. Clara made a small sound. She was staring at Daniel like she'd never seen him before. Is this true? She asked him. Daniel was sweating now. Baby, listen. I was just trying to secure our future. Our future? Clara stood up. You used me. You dated me because of my father, because you thought it would protect you. No, that's not. And you were married. Clara's voice got louder. You lied about being single. You lied about everything. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. She'd been played just as much as I had. In a different way. Mr. Webb, Mr. Harrison said formally, based on this evidence, your employment with Harrison Tech is terminated effective immediately. Security will escort you out. You have 1 hour to collect your personal belongings. Daniel turned to me, desperation in his eyes. Amara, please, we can talk about this. You and me, we had something real. I made a mistake. I was confused. I still love you. I looked at him for a long moment. This man who'd thrown me away because he thought I wasn't good enough. This man who'd made me feel small because of my skin color, my humble clothes, my quiet life. This man who'd chased status and money and better connections so hard that he destroyed everything real he had. No, Daniel, I said quietly, you love what you thought I couldn't give you. You never loved me. And you don't love Clara either. You love the idea of climbing a ladder that doesn't exist. But security is outside, I said. Please go quietly. 2 security guards appeared at the door. Daniel looked around the room, hoping someone would defend him. Nobody did. Everyone just stared. Clara was already gathering her things. I need to go, she said, her voice shaking. I can't believe I didn't see this. Clara, Daniel reached for her. She jerked away. Don't touch me. Don't ever contact me again. I actually liked you, Daniel. I thought you were genuine. But you're just a user. You're just a liar. She walked out without looking back. Daniel stood there for another moment, looking at me. You planned this, he said. You wanted revenge. No, I said, I wanted justice. There's a difference. You broke the law, Daniel. You stole from this company. You hurt people who worked here. That's why you're being fired. Not because you left me. But you knew, he said. You knew all along that you owned this place. You could have told me. You could have. Could have what? I asked. Made your decision easier? Let you use me openly instead of secretly. He had no answer. The security guard stepped forward. Sir, it's time to go. Daniel looked at me one last time. I saw it in his eyes. The regret, the realization of what he'd lost. Not just a wife, not just a job, but his entire sense of reality. Goodbye, Daniel, I said. They escorted him out. After the meeting, Mr. Harrison came over to me. You handled that perfectly, he said. I just handled it honestly. I replied. The other board members came up one by one. shaking my hand, thanking me for my leadership. Some of them I'd worked with for years without them knowing who I really was. Now they knew. "Why did you keep it secret for so long?" one of them asked. "Because I want to be valued for my work," I said. "Not my name, not my money, just me." They understood, or at least they said they did. I packed up my papers and headed to the elevator. As I walked through the office, people stared. Word had already spread. By tomorrow, everyone would know. I was okay with that now. I'd hidden long enough. Outside, the sun was shining. I got into my car. Not the regular sedan I usually drove, but the one I kept in a private garage downtown. The nice one. My phone buzzed. It was a text from my mom. How did it go? It went exactly how it needed to. I typed back. Good. Are you okay? I thought about it. Was I okay? My ex-husband just got fired. My secret identity just got revealed. Everything I'd built in quiet was now public. But yeah, I was okay. Better than okay. I'm perfect, I wrote. I'm free. I drove home, and for the first time in months, I didn't cry. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel sad. I felt powerful. Not because I'd gotten revenge. Not because I'd embarrassed Daniel. But because I'd stood up for myself in a way that mattered most. With truth, with dignity, and with the strength I'd always had but never needed to prove. Daniel thought I was an upgrade away from being worthy. He thought Clara's lighter skin and her father's title made her more valuable. He thought success was about who you knew and how you looked. He was wrong about all of it. Real success is knowing your worth. It's building something meaningful. It's being honest, even when lie would be easier. It's treating people right, even when they treat you wrong. And in the end, the truth has a funny way of showing up exactly when it's supposed to. Sometimes quietly. Sometimes in a boardroom full of witnesses. Sometimes wearing the face of the woman someone threw away.